But then every time I see this Brazil play, I can't help but think they are screaming out for a personality like Neymar. And maybe I'm also thinking about Neymar at his best. Somebody who can create, somebody who can take the pressure away from those others around him. Neymar was that for Brazil at his best.
Fala, meu povo, tudo bem com vocês? E a imprensa gringa não para de falar também do Neymar, tá? Quando perguntado pro Neymar o que acha do Ancelotti, tá assistindo o jogo dele em campo pelo Santos, ele só fala que não precisa provar nada pra ninguém. Será que ele não precisa provar nada pra ninguém? Se liga aí nos Gringos Falando do Neymar agora.
Hoje ele tava aqui no Morumbi, você acha que você agradou ele? Juan, da Seleção.
Cara, gostou? Eu não preciso provar nada pra ninguém.
You heard the man. He has nothing to prove in terms of getting back in or being a part of Carlo Ancelotti's Brazil. Gab and Frank are with us. They never left because they were loving that top 10 Benjamin Sesko goals.
Top
but
four.
Ale, it was a top 10, Shaka. Listen, Ale, let's talk to you about Neymar. What did you make of his comments? No point to prove?
Well, and that in itself is, I think, where he doesn't get it, Neymar, because he does have something to prove. He does have something to prove to himself, first and foremost. And then once he does that, then he has to prove something to everybody else, including Carlo Ancelotti. One of the things that he has to prove is whether he can stay fit, he can stay healthy, he can be consistently productive for Santos, that he can be a dynamic game changer for Santos. And if he is a dynamic game changer for Santos consistently, can he be that for Brazil? We don't know that. We know what Neymar was, and what Neymar was indeed a game changer, was indeed a talented player that at any moment could take a handle of the ball, it can take a handle of the game and change the game for Brazil and any of his club teams at his best. His best was a long, long time ago. And a lot has happened since then, including injuries, including lack of performance, including lack of game time. If indeed you're going to be part of Brazil in the 2026 World Cup, yes, you have to prove something. And the quicker he accepts that he has to prove something to himself, and then he has to prove something to others, I think the better chance he has to be part of that team.
I'm really torn on this Neymar in the Brazil squad scenario.
As in if he should be an automatic inclusion.
Let me say, nobody's an automatic inclusion for any team, especially any national team, and certainly one with the history of Brazil. And I say this because I think the Neymar we remember at Barcelona is not the Neymar that we saw in Saudi Arabia, is not the Neymar we saw early on at Santos, and while he's been a whole lot better, he's still a long way from his best. He's still a long way from being an automatic inclusion into the Brazil squad. But then every time I see this Brazil play, I can't help but think they are screaming out for a personality like Neymar. And maybe I'm also thinking about Neymar at his best. Somebody who can create, somebody who can take the pressure away from those others around him. Neymar was that for Brazil at his best. They need somebody like that, and they do not have a ready-made replacement who can just take some of that pressure on, because that yellow jersey is a very heavy one. That's where the kind of my uncertainty comes.
Yeah, so look, if Neymar was killing it in Brazil, right? And you could see some of the signs of what he used to be, and I'm Carlo Ancelotti and I see what I'm working with, and I need that sort of player that you're talking about, Shaka, I'm all for it. But you have to also understand that Neymar coming to the national team brings a circus with him. And the question that you have to answer if you're Carlo Ancelotti, is the circus worthwhile? And is the circus productive enough to where it becomes something that we can all handle and we can all get behind? Now, one of the things that Neymar has to prove is that he can come to the national team without the drama, without the controversy, without the circus, and still be a productive player. That is a big question that he's going to have to answer, and he's going to have to prove it whether he likes it or not.
Frank, what do you think about this? Does he have a point to prove?
Of course he has, and I think his comment was very condescending for me. I was watching footages of Neymar when he was younger, when he played in Brazil, and then when he played for Barcelona. That was amazing. That guy was simply an exception and the top of the top. But how long it's been since we haven't seen that? It's been 4, maybe 5 years. When he came to Paris Saint-Germain, the first year was quite okay, but that wasn't the Neymar that we saw in Barcelona. And since then, we saw injuries, we saw dramas, we saw comment, but we didn't see performances. So yes, you have to prove, especially when we are talking about Carlo Ancelotti. So yeah, we should have shown a little bit more humility towards the capacity of what Carlo Ancelotti can bring to him, and I think that's not fair. Carlo Ancelotti make the effort to not say, okay, no, it's over for Neymar, I don't want to see him anymore, he's part of the past, let's see the future. No, he takes care of him, he wants to see him, and the guy makes that comment. No, come on. So, and I agree with the guys, yeah, if Neymar is fit, and with Xhaka is right, if Neymar is fit, then he can take him because of his personality. But I agree with Ali. If it brings his personality, the personality that is shown in this comment, no, it doesn't bring anything positive to the team. So Neymar will have to show to the world, so he will have to prove to the world that he deserves to go with the national team.
Well, Gab, let me come to you because our producers just told me that we should now call you the Ancelotti whisperer, from one Italiano to another. What do you think Carlo Ancelotti would make of these comments, and ultimately what he would do about this Neymar situation?
Look, Carlo Ancelotti's been there, done that. You talk about whisperers. Carlo Ancelotti is the Galactico whisperer. He knows how to get the best out of egomaniacs, prima donnas, deluded people. Because guess what? He coached Real Madrid for so many years, and they all loved him, from Cristiano Ronaldo to Vinicius to whoever you care to name, right? So he knows he can handle all that, but at the same time, he needs to put together a team, and at the same time, there's real competition. And we can talk about, but the personality and blah, 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 the magic of Neymar. There's other people who play for Brazil who are also capable of magic, from Vini to Rafinha to whoever else you care to name. So, frankly, if I'm Ancelotti and I hear this, I say, bro, you're really, really deluded. And I can still work with you, but you need to meet me somewhere. Because I'll tell you what, I think other players hearing this, they're going to be annoyed. I mean, if I'm Vini, how do I feel hearing this guy say this? If I'm Vini, who's, I busted my backside for the national team, for Real Madrid, I've done this for the last 3 years, while this guy's either been injured or sitting in his hotel room in Saudi Arabia, and then he kind of says, well, I don't have to prove anything. No, dude, you do. You don't have to prove anything in terms of your career with Brazil. Your numbers are there. Nobody will ever take that away. But you have to prove that the Neymar right now belongs. If you're willing to show a little bit of humility, Carlo Ancelotti will always keep the door open for you. But you have to show that you live in planet Earth and that you don't live, in your own personal YouTube compilation from 2016.
Então vocês viram aí os gringos falando do Neymar. Porra, é uma discussão eterna. Tem uns que acham que o Neymar realmente não deve nada a ninguém. Tem outros que acham que o Neymar ele tem que começar a jogar mais bola e tem que se provar sim. Gente, o negócio é o seguinte. O Ancelotti vai convocar o Neymar de todo jeito. Querendo ou não, a torcida, ele vai ser convocado. O Neymar ainda é diferente em relação aos outros atletas, tá? A seleção até joga mais quando o Neymar tá em campo. Agora, o Neymar também tem que mudar um pouquinho a postura dele, né? Ele tem que ser mais jogador para a equipe, dentro de campo, não falando, reclamando, chorando, porque o Neymar é um craque, mano, é um craque. Se ele quiser jogar bola, gente, ele vai voltar a ser referência da seleção brasileira. Agora, se ele não quiser, ele vai ser mais um num monte de jogador lá que não me parece ter interesse em jogar pelas cores da amarelinha, tá bom? Galera, peço para vocês deixarem um like, se inscrever no nosso canal, peço também que você compartilhe esse vídeo com seus amigos. Muito obrigado, fica com Deus, valeu!